Hello, welcome to the Creative Aid Artist in Residence briefing session. My name's Jane and I'm a project manager at Blue Cabin, and I'm working on the Creative Aid project alongside Sarah, who we have with us today from NEPACS, and Sarah will introduce herself in a minute. So the aims of this are really to tell you a little bit more about Blue Cabin and NEPACS, to tell you a bit more about the project and about the role. To start with, I will just hand over to Sarah, and I'm going to bring up the PowerPoint.
Yeah, so I'm Sarah. I am the project worker within Diabold for NEPACS on the Creative Aid project. So my role is to coordinate everything and organise sessions and find young men who are interested in the project and support them throughout. So that's my role really quickly. So as mentioned, I work for NEPACS. NEPACS is a North East charity that has been established for 140 years in the North East, supporting prisoners and their families through the criminal justice system, right from the beginning of the courts, right up until release. We have a number of projects that are both prison and community based. From the courts project, that's supporting people who are going through the court procedures and families whose loved ones have then gone on to go to prison. We've got a helpline for families and loved ones, the Early Days in Custody project, which is helping people in their first 10 days in prison. We've got the Visitor Centre, supporting families through the visits process, family support workers within the prison. We've got youth teams. We have departure lounges, which is helping people on the day of release. Resettlement, we work with sex offenders in the community, and also we have an independent visitors project, which is almost like a befriending service for young children who are in care. And we also offer grants to support people in prison and community on release. We have the Care Leavers project, which is in Diabold and was established about 5 or 6 years ago. And it's only based in Diabold. We don't have that in any of the other North East prisons. And care leavers are overrepresented in the prison population. So that project's there to support young care leavers to stay in touch with their personal advisors at the local authority, to know their rights and have access to the support that they're entitled to, be a voice for them and offer emotional support throughout their sentence. And is to improve resettlement outcomes and to connect young people to their communities and support that's available. And the Create project sits under the Care Leavers project.
Lovely. Thank you, Sarah. So just a little bit about Blue Cabin. We're a charitable incorporated organisation that was set up in 2016 as a community interest company, and it was established by our director, Jenny Young. The mission is to nurture meaningful relationships between care experienced people and the adults in their lives, and we do that through creativity. So we always work with professional artists to deliver sessions, and we do have a group of about, I think there's about 10 associate artists who work with us on a regular basis and who've undergone various types of training that we offer as part of Blue Cabin, which we'll talk about in a minute. And we always work in partnership with others. So we work in partnerships with NEPACS on creative aid, but it also in other projects might be with local authorities and their virtual schools who are working with care experienced children and young people. It might be other arts and cultural partners, but it's always in partnership with others. So we're based in the northeast of England, which is where we largely work, although we do have some work currently that's national. And we work in a trauma-informed way. So we focus on the creative well-being and pastoral needs of the children and young people that we work alongside. And it's really about building those relationships, building trust, developing creative skills, but it's largely definitely about the relationships and working in a compassionate way. So one of the projects we do is creative life story work. That's been developed alongside Richard Rose of Life Story Work International over the last few years, and we work in a few different local authorities. Life story work is something that all care experienced children and young people do with the adults in their lives, and this is bringing the arts into that. And so we've had a programme looking at it. It's been a 6-week programme all about me, which is looking at past, present, and future lives with those children, young people, alongside their carers. So that's quite a big piece of work, and there's lots of training that's available through that. So we deliver online sessions with various different guest delivery facilitators around that. And so part of that will be trauma, attachment, and recovery sessions, which is part of what our associate artists do as part of their training, and a membership to the Creative Life Story Work website, and the offer for that training is available to the person who will be the artist in residence for Creative Aid. Another example is early years music making. So there is a programme funded through Youth Music called This Is the Place, and that's currently happening in Darlington. And so that is babies and their carers coming together every week, working with 2 musicians to create music together, to listen to music, to sing together. And that's also now rolling out into another local authority. So we go from early years kind of up to 25 at the minute, really, with the care leavers who we're working with as part of Creative Aid. We also have a project called Cool Things, and that's with Darlington Virtual School, and that's largely been holiday-based activities, and they often do arts award within that time, and sometimes it is about coming together at the theatre, seeing a production together, and then working with artists to create things themselves based on the themes of things that have been in that production, and that's the children or young people alongside their carers working together. So that theme of kind of building relationships and trust together is always part of the work that we do. So I'd just like to, I'll bring on the next slide. So this is an example of some typography work that the lads did last year on Creative Aid. So it's just nice to show you a few examples of what they've been doing. And there's a quote here from one of the lads from last year's work. So we will now tell you a bit more about Creative Aid. So it's a 3-year project funded through the National Lottery, and we're in year 2 now of 3. So this year we have 3 artists in residence. So for this role that we're advertising for, we're looking for an artist in residence for block 2, which is the kind of summer period of the project. And so each artist in residence works over about a period of 3 months to work kind of intensively with the lads. The project came about through conversations between NEPACS and Blue Cabin. NEPACS had been doing their leaving care work, their care leavers work, and we were interested in working together and bringing artists into that work. And so there was a consultation done with the lads, and we did that as a pack. And so they had lots of different creative activities to do, some things to keep themselves, and then a questionnaire about what creative aid might look like. And so they shared with us that they wanted regular activity with artists. They wanted to be able to create things that they could either keep for themselves or gift to others, and they wanted to be able to share that work in a wider capacity with others. They wanted to be able to get a qualification. So Arts Award is what we've put in place, Bronze Arts Award, to do with the lads each year. And so the aims through NEPACS were about supporting the lads at the earliest possible stage in their sentence, supporting them to work together alongside each other, build relationships with each other and with the staff, and to develop, to build on chances of a positive future on release. And so through this discussion, we all agreed that small groups was the way forward. So we have a core group each year of 6 to 8 lads who work together on that weekly basis, and they're the ones who do Arts Award. And that's really essential to our approach, so that we're creating that safe, nurturing environment. It's giving a really in-depth experience and quality experience for those lads. There are, as Sarah mentioned earlier, there's about 95 care leavers at Deerbolt, so we do want to try and work with a wider group of lads where possible, and that is done through visiting companies coming in to do performances and workshops. It's also packs that we ask you to create as the associate artist, so that lads can do some in-cell work, and we're hoping that there's opportunities for you to deliver a couple of sessions that might be on visitors' days, family days, or maybe one-off workshops with a different group who just want to do something as a one-off rather than commit to the year of delivery. And so, yeah, I'm employed part-time with Blue Cabin as the project manager. Sarah, likewise with NEPACS, is dedicated to the Creative Aid project. And you, as the artist in residence, will work alongside Sarah and Gail, who's not here today, but you will always work alongside a colleague from NEPACS in delivery. So you won't ever be doing any lone working, and it's you who are in the direct delivery. So you're the ones building those relationships, doing the activities together, building support and engagement, and encouraging the lads to develop their creative and artistic selves. Yeah, so that's a little bit about the kind of background to the project. I don't know, shall I hand over to you, Sarah? Do you want to say any more about?
Yeah, do you want me to talk a bit about last year and how this year is looking?
Yeah. Right.
So last year we had 6 young men on the project. We had 5 who were going towards Arts Award and 1 who was just a little bit older, so he wasn't eligible but was still involved in the project. And it looked a bit different last year because we had staff shortages from a prison perspective, so we did a lot of one-to-one work and small group work on the wings, which worked really well, but meant that we didn't have the freedom to kind of be as creative within a session, have as much time with them. So this year we've got 7 in the group, but we are in a classroom, which means we've got a lot more freedom as far as what we can deliver. And the group's really lovely, they're gelling really well. We've got 1 young man who was on our project last year, and he was really lacking in confidence last year. Didn't think he was creative, didn't think that he was very good at English, but he's really come along, and he started doing his English qualifications in the prison. He signed up for the creative writing course, and his confidence has just shot away. So he's come back as a peer mentor this year. So he's our 7th member, and he's within the session still participating but supporting the new group with activities that he has done before and that he's now got confidence in. So yeah, a really lovely little group, and we've got a classroom where we're set up every Wednesday, and we have about 2.5 hours with them on a Wednesday morning, and then the afternoon is used for any follow-ups. You know, if anything's been flagged within a session or somebody hasn't managed to come along, then we have that to go out and see them on the wings and have a bit of one-to-one time if needed.
Lovely. Yeah, thanks, Sarah. So really, yeah, in terms of your role as the artist in residence, there's the direct delivery days, and there's 10 of those days across the times that are in the role description, and then you get non-contact time, and so that is for training, that is for prep, for a pre-visit to Deerbolt, to be able to have time with me kind of every fortnight. We'll have a one-to-one together so that we can catch up. You get therapeutic supervision time, which we really value as part of Blue Cabin, as part of our wellbeing for staff. And so you'll be responsible as the artist in residence for preparing and developing the creative activities in liaison with us and NEPACS to make sure that the materials are okay to go into the prison, so that we can all talk about what the activities will be, so that NEPACS can fully support you while you're there. And creating the packs for 20 lads is part of that non-contact time, and you'll obviously get the materials budget for that, and then reflections as well. So we are a learning organisation, and we build in reflective practice into the work, and so we'll have a reflection session kind of towards the end of your delivery time, and thinking about what's worked well, what hasn't, and yeah, then we'll think about what might be able to be exhibited in some way or created that's a finished product that then can be shared wider. So this year, well, from year 1, we're pulling together an artist book that will be published, and we're also developing an online gallery. So each year we'll be able to add to that from what the lads have done, so that we can share the work that they're creating in a wider sense. So that's really the scope of the role. We hope that today has been helpful for you in terms of making a decision as to whether to apply. Please read through the role description and the information that's on the website, because we've put all the details in there. So we look forward to receiving your applications. Thank you so much. Bye.